Flooding in the Alt Crossens catchment last year was pretty extensive. A lot of farmers had a lot of their land underwater. It also impacted on communities with roads cut off and so forth.
One of the most unique areas in the region of the northwest actually. It's absolute focus of some of the highest quality agricultural land in the region. So it produces a lot of the vegetable and salad crops that are sold throughout the country.
Obviously with their land underwater and for extended periods of time, those crops died, and that's really had an impact on directly on their farm businesses, but it also has a long-term impact on their farm business security.
In the last 12 months we've lost an awful lot of money, several £100,000 we've lost due to not being able to harvest crops. And a lot of people say that it is down to rainfall and climate change and lots of other reasons, and nobody ever mentions the fact that nobody is taking an interest in managing the water.
We're having to look very hard at how we spend the public money that we're entrusted with very carefully, and we're having to focus that very squarely on protecting people and their homes. And that is the driver here. That's why we're having to look to change the activities that we do in the Alt Crossens area. Talking to the community about this, consulting with them, it was clear it wasn't working as an approach, and so therefore we knew we needed to try a different way of doing it, and that's where accelerated collaboration came in.
The accelerated collaboration approach, not something I'd heard of before this particular experience. Have been involved in partnerships before, and I would say that elements of it are very similar to partnership working. It's about facilitating that understanding of the different partners, what their perspectives are, and creating that respect between partners.
It's just a hugely powerful tool, and the first time I saw it, I'd seen Phil from Green Ventures talking about it with myself and some other colleagues, and it was quite an inspiring moment, because I had a bit of a eureka moment that said that's it, that could do what we're after in terms of may not ultimately deliver the entire solution that we're after because it's quite complicated, but as importantly will get us to that important point where people at least understand the issue and have the same view of what the priorities are.
They accelerated all the information, they put it together so quickly, and they put it in a very simple visual term. It's all very well reading all the paperwork and all the documents, but if you can watch a fly-through or a slideshow, as was the case, it's much simpler for everybody to understand.
I think where it's been useful is being able to use the tools available to explain that to our members, to the farmers on the ground, and get across my technical knowledge and our regional environment advisors' knowledge to explain that to the farmers, and at the same time also explain that position to councillors, environment agency staff that are also in the room.
Accelerated collaboration has played a really important role of getting all the partners involved to a point where they all see and understand the problem from the same perspective and have an equal understanding, shall we say, of what all the relevant information out there is that's affecting our future decision making.
When we started this process, Green Ventures and Royal Haskonings weren't involved, and they only came in at a later process, and we seemed to go round in circles quite a bit before the involvement of Phil and Emma. Once they were involved, we seemed to have a focus and we kept going in one direction much better.
In terms of resolution in the future, I think there's still problems that we need to address as partners for the Alt Crossens area. The process helped us understand what those problems were, but it's for us to resolve them.
The process has been really inspiring actually, because it's shown that we've gone from a point of a fair degree of conflict to a point of, if not harmony, at least a collective respect and understanding of the issues and the challenges we faced and we needed to address.
The biggest element for me is that we're now looking to resolve those together. We have an understanding of where the different partners are coming from. We respect that, and we want to support each other and we want to move forward together.